Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early to mid August 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the lovely Virgo collective in early to mid August? Virgo season is quick approaching, so it's almost birthday time. So let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a little peek at. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. So let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo gang in early to mid August. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. We're going to have some fun today, my friends. I'm going to read through these cards and see what wants to pop out. There we go. We'll take it. Okay, cool. The Alchemist. I think you've had this maybe a few weeks ago, and I always like it, especially in a Virgo reading, because it reminds me of the Hermit quite a bit. I really like this card because it's about focus and perspective. There's something very creative about it, too. Not just creative in the artistic way, but creation in general. So I think it's nice. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as we can see, we have this individual that looks like he's in the lab, right? He's looking at that potion, which looks fresh. He has the alchemical symbol for the sun right over the third eye, which represents illumination. This is somewhat of like a eureka moment. And again, it has similar things to the Hermit, which is one of your power cards. In the positive sense, is what represents wisdom, wisdom through experience. Yeah, this energy can be a bit of a loner sometimes. It might need its space, but normally it's like very smart, wise, and spiritual. So this is great. But when we get into the other aspects of this card, uh, it can represent focused intention. Like, what are you focusing on? Is there something you're focusing on a little too much? Is there something that you might not be focusing on enough? That's a big question to ask with this card. It's similar to the King of Wands in that type of way. But this is also huge when it comes to creation in general. Look how proud he is. He has that eureka moment. So I think this could be very great and beneficial for some of you. But there is something here about like how much energy you're feeding something or how much energy you're not feeding something. That could be very important. So we're just going to put that alchemist down right there. Yeah, and then there's like all the levels of transmutation, changing, shifting energy. This card is very in depth. Like we could talk about it for 20 minutes. But I'm not going to do that to you. We're going to let him chill right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you three tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Virgos. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So there was a lot of fiery energy in place last week. Now, for some of you, that could be fantastic. But the reading was titled An Explosive Warning. And when I get a lot of fire, I get a lot of air. That is a very changeable type of energy. In the positive sense, energetic, amped up, motivated. That's a great thing. In the rough sense, volatility. So whether that be through communication, connections, other people, maybe there's someone around us that was amping things up. That's very possible. So just know that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. Watch out for volatility of any kind or things that intensify quickly. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going here. What do we got for the lovely Virgos in early to mid-August as we get close to birthday season for our good friends? Nine of Wands. So we just have a little bit more of the fire here. The Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior. He's also a card that's wisdom through experience, right? Like especially like this alchemist. So that seems to be an intriguing little thread that we might want to pull on as we move through the reading. Let's see, what else do we got? Okay. And the Hermit. All right, all this energy, I don't want to say it's at a complete and total standstill, but it kind of is. All right, let's get them there. I mean, we do have to clarify them, of course. Then we have the Hermit himself, which we were speaking about quite a bit. Similarities to this alchemist that we had in the beginning, right? Like these are all peas in a pod. All of these cards are peas in a pod, so that's really unique. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into the juicy intuitive stuff. At first look, first glance, the first thing I always go for is the elements. You do have a pretty good mixture this week. I think it's important because it builds the foundation. But you got that fire again, like we had last week. But you do have earth right there on the back end, which is cool. And then I always say the Hanged Man to me is a combination platter of earth and water, which is normally very good. Two power cards for Virgo here. Both of these cards could represent you. So we have this intriguing undertone this week that I think is going to be interesting to dive into. But when it comes to fire, that's the realm of action. So whether it's actions you take, the actions other people take, the actions you want to take, or even ones you decide not to, that's it. The actions that people are making. It could also be high vibrational frequency energy. It could speak about health and wellness, energy levels. All of that could be in focus when the fire's in the mix. The downside to it, just like last week, it can intensify quickly. It can change quickly. There's an unpredictability to it. So we'll keep an eye on this guy. Moving to the middle, we have an earth prominent with a little touch of water energy here. I always say when earth and water mix, they represent blessings and abundance. Water, for all intents and purposes, represents the emotional realm and matters of the heart. When it comes to the earth, though, with which we have quite a bit here, that's good for Virgo. That's your power element. That's your comfort zone, your place of peace, so to speak. So I do like this big earthy vibe showing up because it could be something calming down, hopefully. Earth is results driven. Earth is routine, ritual, day-to-day life. Every day at this time I do this, right? There's something predictable about it. It could be money, work, business, finance, home, family, investments, all of the earthly matters. The only downside to a lot of earth is that it could feel a little stuck in a rut. It's not a fast mover. It's an energy that takes a lot to move it. So there is a stubbornness to it. And one thing with all of these cards is like they are all standing in place. They're not making moves, even though this is like an action card. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, the nine of wands, pardon me. And we see this individual here has erected a wall and is standing guard. I'll give you the positives and the challenges, right? Now the positives, this is territorial, it's protective, where it's like whether it's protecting oneself, protecting your own peace, protecting things or people that you love. This energy is watching out, right? This is a watcher. That's another thing we have going on here too. There's a lot of observation happening. The nine of wands, again, it's very protective, and it represents that wisdom through experience. I've been through some things, I've seen some things, so I know how to handle this. So I think that's pretty good. But the downside to the Nine of Wands, it represents someone that is wounded, someone that is still working through something. They're not 100% just yet. This energy could represent blockages in communications, blockages or misunderstandings. That's a big thing here. This energy, aside from the watching, is very skeptical. So sometimes this will show up when Spirit's like, hey, be careful with that one, Virgo. Or, oh, keep an eye on that one, Virgo. That could be it. Worst case scenario, this card could represent rejection as well, whether it's a habit, a behavior, a thought process. The Nine of Wands is an energy that says, you shall not enter. So we're going to keep an eye on this for sure. Now, moving to the middle, we do have another watcher / observer showing up. We got the Hanged Man himself. Now, I did mention this is a Virgo power card, so when we clarified, it could tell something that's coming towards you or a way you might be feeling. Other zodiac signs that attach to this, some readers give it to Pisces as well. Some people also give it to Scorpio. I give it a little bit to all of them, right? Now, the Hanged Man is not moving, right? Like you see him there, he's hung upside down. He's got like the little halo happening. To me, this is a pretty decent card, even though it's not a lot of action. It's observant, it's watching. This is a plan-based type of energy where it's like, I'm taking in information, then I will act. I will learn first, then I will make a move. It's a very studious type of energy. So like when I see the Nine of Wands with the Hanged Man, it's like observing. Either like I'm watching you while they're watching me. It's like multiple layers of observation. So again, there could be something that Spirit wants you to keep an eye on, or maybe you're under the microscope. That could very well be it. The Hermit could also, not the Hermit, the Hanged Man can also represent self-sacrifice, where you take one for the team, where it's like, I'm not so happy, but I'm going to do it because I care. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's a big vibe with this card. But it is intelligent, it's observant, and it is plan-based. So that is a big theme, especially on the front end. Now, we get to the back end, we have your power card, your big power card, the Hermit, very similar to that Alchemist. Now, the big thing with the Hermit, aside from representing you, so again, it could tell us something that's coming towards you or what you might be feeling, it is a withdrawn energy. This often shows up when there is something that we are pulling our energy back from. Maybe you're just in hermit mode. Maybe you don't want to deal with this. You don't want to deal with that. You want a little bit of privacy. You might need a little bit of time. Hermit mode, right? Nothing wrong with it. Um, it's wise in the positive sense, just like the alchemist. It's been through some things, it's seen some things, wise beyond its years. So I love the hermit for that. Super spiritual. But there's also a mystery here. Normally, this card is depicted at nighttime, but he has the lantern. So it's like I'm searching, I'm seeking, but it's inward facing. So I like the hermit. But the downside, just like the Nine of Wands, it can represent miscommunications, misunderstandings, quiet, blockages, rejection, like all of these can be in play. And notice they're all just doing their own thing. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Virgo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for my friends. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Nine of Wands. Is that something to watch out for, or are you being watched out for? Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, let's go in. Yeah, all these energies are just standing pat, standing firm for whatever reason. It's the Nine of Wands here. Thank you. Yeah, this energy, very, very like secluded, solitude. Nope, nope, nope. It's like I'm putting the hand up here. We have the Seven of Cups in reverse underneath it. Now, the Seven of Cups is a card of options, paths, choices. I'm going to give you the positive of this because I do have two main messages I'm picking up. One is a little rough. One I actually think could be really valuable for some of you. Now, when I see it in reverse, especially under a card like the Nine of Wands, this does talk to me about someone that's purposely trying to change their perspective or their mindset. For example, this could be someone that normally they may look at something as a negative, but they're reframing it, where it's like, okay, that's not good, that's not optimal, but let's try to see the silver lining. Let's reframe this. So it is somebody that's like trying to adjust or change their perspective, which is really unique. I think that's like a superpower, to be honest with you, because the Seven of Cups and the other message, it can also be like rejection energy. And I'll explain why. The Seven of Cups is usually options, paths, choices. It's huge when it comes to the mind and mindset. So is there something that you're trying to not think about? Is there something you're trying to put out of your mind? That's what this could be. Is there something you're trying to reframe or adjust your perspective and how you view it and look at it from someone else's shoes? Possibly. But when I see the card of options in reverse underneath the Nine of Wands, it's like, yeah, no. It's like looking at a menu and saying, I'm not hungry. So again, that could be a rejection of some sort, whether that's a behavior, thought process, individual, situation. It's like, I don't want anything from that menu, so I'm just not going to eat. We're going to keep going. I mean, it is what it is. So love it for the reframing of one's mind. I do love it for that, but it is like super, super protective. Let's keep going. Let's see what the Hanged Man has, and we'll keep moving over to that Hermit. So that was pretty in depth for a general reading. I would expect to see something like that in a personal. But let's go in on the Hanged Man. What is this action that's not being taken? Oh, there's an action that someone wants to take. I could tell you that. All right. So we do have the observation going on. We have the Five of Wands in the upright. So just keep that in mind, whether you're getting a little more attention than you're comfortable with or you're getting more attention than usual. It's like I'm being watched like a hawk. That's what I'm feeling intuitively first here, especially with all this. It's like one is watching from a distance, one is watching a little more up close and personal. But when I see the Five of Wands underneath the Hanged Man, it's like, oh, there's something I want to do, but I can't do it yet. It's like there's something I want, I gotta do it. It's like trying to restrain itself or refrain from doing something. So watch for urges in this time. Now the Five of Wands, we see these people, they're beating the crap out of each other with sticks. It's one of those cards. You don't need to know a damn thing about tarot to understand what it means, right? In the positive sense, it's determination, forward push, forward momentum. So it's action. But the downside of this card is conflict, problems, one thing after another after another. So when I see like this group of people just battling it up with the Hanged Man watching on, is there something you're trying to just keep a distance from, potentially? Is there something where it's like, okay, well, don't get involved, but keep an eye on it, potentially. That could be a good thing too, where it's like, all right, well, observe from a distance, right? Like you don't want to get up into the battle, but you can watch it, see what's going on. So we're getting a lot of very specific stuff here this week. But there is this urge driven energy too, where it's like, don't let the lack of action fool you, because there's someone that is really trying so hard to not do something. It's refrain. It's similar to like trying to quit a habit of some kind, or just like, I want to do this, but I need to give it time. Restraint, refraining. We're going to keep going. That's really unique. Really unique. But let's go, let's see what the Hermit has. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into it. So, why is the Hermit here? Good. Yeah, this energy. All right. So, we do have the Page of Cups in the upright underneath this Hermit. And when I see this, this could absolutely be a surprising or unexpected talk when we mix the mystery, the hidden aspect, the withdrawn aspect of the Hermit with the Page of Cups that comes forth. So it's like the energy steps back and then it comes forward. It's back, it's gone, it's refraining, restraining, and then it eventually makes a move, makes an action. So it's kind of like a slingshot where you pull a slingshot back and then you let it go. That's kind of how these two alignments feel to me. Now, the Page of Cups, that could be a water sign. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio could represent a younger individual, but I think many of you know pages represent communication, conversation, especially this guy right here. So when I see it under the card of the mystery, it's like an unexpected or surprising talk for sure, or someone potentially approaching you. Maybe is that what this restraining, refraining is for? It's like it's giving me mixed signals too. So in this time, watch out for any individuals or things or situations that might give you mixed signals. That's another thing. So we're getting a lot of specifics here real quick. But you might have some very interesting talks and combos with this combination on the back end, whether it's a topic you weren't expecting to discuss, or even talking to a person you weren't expecting to talk to. There's this interesting thing around communication. So let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. A lot of intriguing, detailed things this week, Virgo. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we got the Nine of Wands with the Seven of Cups. Two main things. Positive first, it made me feel like someone trying to recalibrate their mindset, try to reframe things, look at things from a different perspective in a more optimistic way. So there's like working within oneself. But this also felt like someone looking at a menu and saying, I'm not hungry. So there was like this rejection type of energy with something. Then in the center, we have the Hanged Man with the Five of Wands. I get a lot of observation, like watching from a distance going on here, and it does show up in a couple different places. So whether it's advice from spirits on like, hey, watch that from a distance, Virgo. Don't get in the fight, just watch it. But it also felt like somebody like trying to refrain or restrain or fight an urge where it's like, I want to do this, but I can't do it yet. So there might be something about timing. Moving to the back end, we do have the Hermit with the Page of Cups in the upright. Unexpected, surprising talks or messages could absolutely be in play with this combination, or it could be someone approaching you. But to me, it's like I pull back and then I take action. So watch out for things that give you mixed signals, because it's like one step back, two steps forward. Once, like, yeah, there's this little energetic do-si-do. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. So let's get your one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got? Cool. Ace of Cups. So yeah, similar thing. So the shadows is that hidden energy similar to this, and we get another card of communication. So that seems to be a thing. Now, the good thing about the Ace of Cups, aside from this being a conversational type of card or energy, it can represent opportunities and open doors. So in the positive sense, with this as a shadow card, there might be some options, paths, and choices that could open up to you that weren't there before. So watch out for those doors opening. I think that's really fantastic. But the downside of the Ace of Cups in the shadows can talk about someone that feels something and doesn't want to say it. So we have the refrain, the restraining type of energy. It could represent issues with emotional regulation, or even situations that you're emotionally invested in, because the Ace of Cups can be very up and down when it's a shadow card. Watch out for emotional suppression in this time as well. If there's something bothering you, pushing it down, it's gonna stay in place, and it's gonna have to come up eventually. So we're just gonna put that down right there, my good friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm gonna give you the details. The August subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The August calendar is up and spots go quick, so you might want to check that out. But for the August subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 winners at random to either choose the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, which is an absolutely stunning deck, or one of the custom made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards that showed up in your reading today, which one intrigued you the most? Which one caught your attention, and why? And you put that in the comments, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab / post tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.